Welcome back to Romantasy HQ, the pod. We are Avery and Xavier Harleston, healthcare professionals by day, Romantasy theorists, and aspiring authors by night. Today we are covering the epigraph from Fourth Wing, Chapter 11. This is your warning. There will be spoilers for the entire Empyrean series. If you have not read all three books, it may be time to turn back. We are not rated E for everyone. Xavier has a degree in cussing and is not afraid to use it, and we will discuss any and all adult topics covered in these books. We like a challenge, so we tackle each epigraph without prepping, placing it into the context of the entire series, not just the chapter or book it's tied to. But you don't have to take it cold, so here is our one-sentence summary of the chapter. Dane Let Me Touch Your Face Atos tries yet again to get Violet to run to the scribes. But she refuses, making it up the gauntlet with her physical and codex quoting skills, earning the admiration of Satan, but making an enemy in Amber Mavis. There are 6 minutes on the clock and more Fourth Wing lore than cadets lost to the gauntlet. So, don't blink, don't scroll, don't let Taryn distract you. We have 360 seconds to blow your mind.
And go.
It is a grave offense against Malik to keep the belongings of a dead loved one. They belong in the beyond with the god of death and the departed. In the absence of a proper temple, any fire will do. He who does not burn for Malik will be burned by Malik. Major Rorley's Guide to Appeasing the Gods, 2nd edition.
So, how does this all play out? I mean, I guess it's okay that the Book of Brennan wasn't burned because Brennan isn't actually dead.
Okay, how about Liam and Liam's letters to Sloane and the little figurines that he made? I mean, I guess if you've already given it as a gift, it doesn't count. Like, just because you received a gift from someone, you don't have to burn it. But the letters, which were intended for Sloane, but he couldn't send them yet because he was a first year, do those count as something that should have been burnt?
100%. And Violet's totally just I don't care. Like I'm going to completely disregard this thing that I'm supposed to do for Malik, but that plays out with her father and his books and his journals and her mother and her belongings. And definitely Little Sword and Scales, all of her belongings as a general did not get burned, but I guess there's a line between what belongs to the army, versus what belongs to
Well,
her.
like, even,
But
like, the
people seem
journals of the first 6 writers and journals of other generals that have been kept, yeah.
yeah, but they seem to be pretty loosey goosey with this rule.
Except for when, like, you're Violet and you feel some sort of obligation to carry the belongings of your squad mate up to the top of a building to burn them all. Like, it does seem very, not super strictly followed, not even necessarily clearly defined. As to what has to be burned. And yeah, that's
I mean, but I wholeheartedly want to believe that this epigraph is real and right, uh, because of Trigger. Because there's the line about the Griffins prefer to be burned, and the connection between belonging and going with the soul. If it's burned, seems like it's the way for the Griffins and the Riders to stay together.
yeah, yeah. Um, and there's also a line there in Onyx when they're talking about that, how you can't leave the fire unattended, because that's like an offense. But I mean, the burn barrels or burn pits or whatever it is, where aren't they pretty much unattended?
I mean, based upon the fact that assassins attacked Violet at one when no one was there but Violet.
Well, I don't know, and maybe that's like a place where you burn belongings versus here they were actually burning a griffin and a flyer, and maybe there's some differentiation there, but, it seems very well, and it's even possible that Paromish traditions and Navarian traditions, even when it comes to things like burning, belongings or burning, um, people for, an alternative to burial could be very different.
Well, you can't erase history without changing rights. So if they rewrote history, maybe the Navarian and Pormish rites were very similar, but once you start rewriting history, you're going to have a divergence of cultures, a divergent of religious traditions that, no longer are in sync, even if like the core ideology of what you're supposed to do is the same. The actual day to day is going to be very different, particularly if one side is your enemy and you're not going to do what the Griffin Riders do. You're going to do something different.
Hmm. But another thing that is interesting is we see so many of the gods as kind of juxtapositions. Like the Dune is the sword and the book, right? Like
Mm.
the it's not just about warfare, it's about strategy. Um, the uh, Loyal is the god of love, but does that also mean that Loyal is the god of the absence of love? I don't know that I believe that hate is the opposite of love. It's not. Hate is a, a very distortion of love. It's the same intensity in a different direction. Um, Zanal is a good one. He's the god of luck, but also of bad, like that's good luck or bad luck, or chaos or the absence of chaos, like two sides of the same coin. So when we hear the god of death, is there a god of life? Is that also Malik? Is there a different god that provides a balance to death?
Yeah. And
What do
I
you
think
think?
this really comes into play with the Venom and their soul, and if our thought process is right that Theophany held on to faith like Zayden held on to love, and what does that mean for Theophany bleeding before she desiccated? Does that mean like she can actually go with Malik and beyond, or is her soul destroyed and can't leave the plane? And how does that all play out? Because again, I'm with you. There isn't really this god of life, and Malik might be more of a god of life and death, and just worshipped in Navarre like a god of death.
Hmm. And I guess going along with that, it seems like souls live on after death. Like
Oh,
souls.
and that's our time.
Oh, okay. Well,
Oh,
did we blow your mind? Let us know in the comments. And remember, stay out of the clouds, off the ice, and come back to us. We love you, and we'll see you next time.
see you next time. Remember, lore lovers, fantasy fanatics, and good girls, like, rate, review, subscribe, and share.